be about an hour and a half.
Oh, hour and a half. Trust me.
Make it 2 hours procedure.
The reason you're here this afternoon is because we all have a common goal, right?
Yes.
How many people here you have more than one house? You own more than one house? Raise your hand. A lot of people, right? So, this afternoon, Renee is going to give us some education about how to keep our house and lower our, principal, and also the interest rate. Okay, and I met Renee 3 times, and before I decided, to use the program, and then, the first time we met, and I asked her, what is your closing rate? And she told me it's 100%. So to me, it seemed like it's good enough for me. A lot of programs out there, and they all say yes, they could do it and take your money. And with her service, the fees are very reasonable. You'll find out. Okay. And I want to thank for my partner, Chantel McCoy, allow us to use this facility here, and also my associate, Jorge. He had to move some chairs. He bought some chairs from the sister-in-law. Yeah. So I really, it's like a teamwork. I wasn't able to be here to help this morning because I have a dance class this morning, so I have to exercise. Thank you. So without further ado, and I want to introduce to you the owner of the Homekeepers LLC, Renee Stark.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. If I'm speaking too loud, you can just do like this and I'll turn it down a little bit. But I'd like for everyone to hear me clearly. And if I'm going too fast, just raise your hand and I'll stop also, because we want everyone to understand and be on the same basis and level that we're on with understanding. I know everyone's hearing about all the different stimulus packages that are out and all the bailout problems and situations that are going on. My worries and concerns are in this room or with we the people. Homekeepers, first of all, is civil. We understand that the banks were scammed, but we were not all scammers. We know that we were all scammed, though. Yes. Okay, we've all been involved in that. Our thing is to help the lenders sort out so that the lenders have the least amount of loss in this process going forward. Now, in order to get the lender to have the least amount of loss, you must understand lending and the lending field and areas. The lending field and areas that you're dealing with are the lender's products that were given to you. Most of you are in a subprime loan, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Interest-only arms, correct?
Yes.
But you thought you had a fixed rate, correct?
Yes.
And when you went to the closing, come on in. When you went to the closing, have a seat, we're just starting. When you went to your closing went kind of like this. Oh, you should be so excited. You're getting ready to start your new venture? We need you to initial here and here. Yep. Sign here, initial, 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 sign. That is a breach of the California antitrust laws. That is also a breach in deceptive trade practices. When I tell you to sign here and here, I'm pointing at a particular area on a sheet of paper. You're never looking at the top part of that paper, and it doesn't push you, or it doesn't even entice you to ask questions. And if you were asking questions, you were told this: don't worry about it. You can cash out again in 6 to 12 months and buy another one. That's not a remedy. So that's also deceptive trade practices. We do not attack the lenders like the lenders altogether knew what they were doing. We educate the lender also, because the same way you were taken advantage of in certain situations, so was the lender. We try to balance that, which is not easy, but the balance in our field, what we feel that should be in the balance, should be your home at the state licensed appraised value, with you a new interest rate, low interest rate, fixed interest rate, fixed rate loan. So that's our goal is that. When you start with Homekeepers, get your initial paperwork in. Once we get your paperwork in, we order an appraisal. The appraisal is done by a state licensed appraiser. We do not accept BPOs, which is broker price opinions, not from the bank, nor from the realtors. State licensed appraisers are licensed by the state of California and every other state that you can think of because they are a safe service provider. They are a third-party entity. They don't care what the lender is saying, shouldn't. They did in the past, but that's what consummated some of the crimes that has us in our position where we're in. Our thing is to try to rectify or to turn around what's been done wrong. So we start with an appraisal. Once we have an appraisal, we know what the property's value is. Then we go to the lender, and we let the lender know what the property appraised value is. Most of the time, the lender will want to hear what's going on with the properties because the lender wants to suffer the least amount of loss that there is. The least amount of loss, I feel personally, in my opinion, is going to be our homes at the appraised value with our fixed rates so we can start paying them. We would like to have all late fees waived. We would like to have all back fees waived. Any cash advances made to your property, we would like to have that waived also. I'm going to draw your attention to the first page that I brought in with me. Does everyone have that first page that's highlighted? I'll get you one. The page I just handed you is an actual success story from Homekeepers. This was the very first one that Homekeepers had completed. And the reason I share this is to let you know that the lender is not going to do anything without first giving you a fear, a fright, to make sure you're going to pay them or not. Okay? It is the bank's fiduciary duty to itself to make sure it is paid. The banking institutions, laws, regulations, and rules state a bank will not be statutory, nor will it be incestuous towards each other. This is exactly why you can go into foreclosure with Wells Fargo and you come out with Bank of New York. You go into foreclosure as Countrywide, you come out as Wells Fargo. Okay? That's brother and sister taking care of each other and their family.
Right.
Okay? They're covering each other's back because some of the lenders are truly exempt status lenders. Exempt status lenders are this: those who are allowed to lend money to you with exemptions by your state. You have your state attorney general, that's all state attorney generals. I'll go back to our last president. Our last president said, if I was having this issue, I'd go back to my lender. I fell to the floor. I could not. Stanford is his name. Just take the first three letters and you know why he said it.
One of the customers.
It was named appropriately. So when we're going into lending, you must understand all facets of what got you to where you are, and then how we're going to rectify that. What makes it so that our state attorney general and our president tell you go back to your lender. Okay? Going back to your lender is the wrong thing to do. The states, all of the states of the unions have already investigated each one of your lenders. And they have found them to be inappropriate whenever they're direct with you. Almost incestuous, almost statutory, almost deceptive when they're dealing direct with you. How many of you have tried to deal direct with your lender? Well, I can see there's been no success. The lender, how many have been told this? We can't help you because you're not delinquent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then when you get delinquent, we're going to accelerate. We want $20,000. Okay. That is the lender's way of recouping their gains. And I'm to say, the same way the lender has said that some of us will be casualties, some of the lenders need to understand there will be such a thing as irrecoupable gains.